Fitin10 Nation, it is day 34 of the Fitin10 challenge, 1 day to the halfway mark of this challenge. And I will put up the Calendly link very shortly here so you can book your fat scans for next weekend, because it will be your third round of fat scans. And listen, I want to remind you, this is not a point of success or failure. This is just a point of checking in, seeing where you're at, and it allows us to see what we can perhaps better improve and better focus on. It's good to know where we stand on that map, at least in terms of, you know, the goal of the challenge, right? All right. So somebody had written me and they said that they need to write down their workout so that they can remember what they reproduced. So I don't know if they mean the actual exercise, because if you mean the exercises, you know they're in your manual, right? You have all the exercises in there. You have all the videos on our YouTube site, or our YouTube channel, I should say. So you have all of that, but I think probably what you're referring to are the reps and sets, right? And so yes, you want to put all that down because you want to try to beat that every time you come in the gym. All right, so either beat it by a rep or add a bit of weight. Okay, on your bigger movements where you're moving bigger weights, like for example on your deadlifts and your squats, you can, probably get away with almost every workout adding a little bit of weight to it. Maybe not every workout, but maybe at least every couple workouts. But if you're doing things like arms, like let's say you're doing, bicep curls and using 12s, for you to go from those 12s to those 15s, that may not happen. So you're gonna have to work more with reps there in order to continue to push that progressive overload. All right, that progressive overload is really where you're going to see changes with, it's one component of seeing change with body composition, right? That's one thing with the resistance training, is that we can keep a strong track on that progressive overload. All right, another person wrote me and they wrote a bunch of stuff, but one thing they said is they're not following their diet, and that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it is what it is. So still, what I want you to do is make sure, because this is the more important part actually. The most important part of this is that you write down everything you're eating. Just put it in your app so you can see and you have a record. This is so important. So forget about trying to get the quote right numbers. Just put down what you've been eating so you can look back and you can see. And if you are at the point where you're frustrated or you want to make a change, you have a record and you can see. But this is really, really important just for you to become acquainted with what foods contain what. Okay? So forget about following a quote diet or anything like that. Just getting acquainted with, hey, how many calories am I eating? How much protein, carbohydrates, and fats am I getting? Okay, just a very simplistic view. Because, like we were never, I think I've already mentioned this, but we're never meant to eat for just hedonistic, type reasons, right? It's made for survival. And this is not to say that, I don't eat for taste. Obviously I want some taste, but we want to have that happy balance between health and taste, right? And I know that there are some people in the challenge that can get a bit triggered with following a diet and getting into this this idea or this problem of body image. But really, that's really not what at least I'm trying to espouse here. I'm just trying to get you guys to be more aware of what you're eating. Okay, and this has obviously bearing on your physical composition, but it has bearing on your health too, right? So you have to, we can't hide from this. So anyways, throwing it out there. Obviously you know yourself better than I do, but something to think about. Sometimes we just have to change our perspective on these things. Okay, all right, somebody else has mentioned about the change in their weight, and why does their weight change? And I get this all the time, and people get so caught up on their weight, and honestly, weight doesn't really mean a whole lot when we're talking about, well, especially if you're putting on muscle mass, but also in the context of 5 or 6 pounds. there is that, you can be at the same body composition, but your weight can fluctuate up and down in that same body composition. So you're not any fatter, you're not any more muscular, okay, or you're not any less fatter or muscular. It's just we have this fluctuation of water. And, the best way I can put it is, I use this analogy with muscle mass. I think I may have done this in a video, but this is actually, this analogy of the gas tank is actually a better analogy, because there is no change. So the size of your gas tank is you, and, your gas tank just goes up and down with gas, but the gas tank always stays the same size. So that's the analogy with water. Now, what will affect the amount of water in the body? Well, there's several things. I made a list here, and there's much more than this. But we have things like sleep and stress, and ladies, time of the month. We have glycogen levels, so this is the way the body stores carbohydrates in the muscle and the liver. We have sodium intake, we have water intake, we have food intake, we've got certain medications. The list goes on, really. Okay, so all of these can affect your weight tremendously, okay? So, for example, let's just use some of these as an example. So, you will not hold water from excess sodium, okay, contrary to what most people believe. If you're eating low sodium and then you have high sodium, yeah, you're gonna hold water because your body's not used to that sodium. But if you're continuously having a higher sodium diet, you're not going to hold more water. Well, you might hold a bit more, but you're not going to hold that much more because your body will get used to excreting that sodium. All right, the body wants a balance of it. So, another example here is sleep. Generally less sleep, more inflammation. Usually a shorter period of time between eating and drinking. Usually when you're sleeping, you're getting up and you're going to the washroom once or twice. In my case, it's like 4 times a night. But yeah, so these are all going to affect the amount of water in the body. Medications, for example, birth control is a perfect example. All right, that's going to make you hold more water. Some medications that help to fight, certain autoimmune disorders, they're going to make you hold water. Okay, there's a lot out there. All right, so that's all I'm going to say on that. There's lots of factors. Just know that your body composition can be exactly the same. That is, you are the exact same fat and muscle mass, bone density, all of that, okay, virtually the same, and your weight can go like this, okay, depending on so many factors. All right, 8 minutes in. Message of the day: no matter how you feel, of course, this is the week of giving up, or this is the week that you will not give up. This is, as I said, the week that people typically give up. So no matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and most importantly, never give up. I'm going to read that one more time. No matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and most importantly, never give up, okay? You may have, and I've got some other quotes about this, you may have points in your life where you feel like you're failing. You may have points where you feel like, what's the point? I'm telling you right now, those who are successful in any endeavor, they just keep going, they keep working at it. So don't give up. It's only been 34 days, okay? If it's been 34 years, I'd say that's a good fight. 34 days, certainly not, okay? Keep at it, keep going, and remember why you're doing this. Submit, commit, positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself for the love of God, and give some gratitude. It's good for you. I promise you, okay? Send me your gratitude in your upcoming feedback, which, by the way, a lot of you did not send me your feedback. I got maybe 20 feedbacks this week. That means I'm missing 47. Not impressed. Talk to you guys all very soon. See ya.